All right, we're back talking about the Pirates, who lost again today now. That's 7 series in a row. They're 4-18 since the break. Yet, Neil Huntington will not admit the season is over. Tim Benz, is he wrong for that?
Yes, he's wrong. This season is completely over. The Mets have taken 5 of 6 against them to get themselves back in the playoff race. This season is over. No one can pitch. My biggest concern for the Pirates right now is what do they do to find themselves a rotation for next year. We talked about Ben Roethlisberger today. I don't know if you guys saw this, but he's something like 30 or 40 to 1 to win the MVP. Even odds with Jameis Winston, who said he isn't ruling out baseball after his contract ends. I want to see Jameis in the Pirates starting rotation in 2 years.
He can't be worse than Neveraskis.
Cannot be. Where can you get good crab legs in Pittsburgh? That's what we need to figure out.
Bob, I think this whole Pirates will not commit to rebuilding and blowing it up. But at the same time, we're not going to make free agent additions that add payroll. So they're stuck in this purgatory where Neil Huntington has to say, we believe we're going to be a contender in 2020, and then out of the side of his mouth, he'll say, well, we're only going to spend $85 million on players. It's bad. It's really bad. And to Tim's point, you know, if you're going to be a team that wins with a thin payroll, you've got to hit on your young players, and you kind of got to find pitching on a budget. And I don't see either of those two things in this organization right now. So I think they're in deep trouble.
I think the pitching is the big thing. I mean, it was, 6 months ago that this was the best pitching staff in the world, right? And they were supposed to carry this team to the playoffs.
Well, now Tyone's out 6 to 9 months,
I couldn't even
Mark.
tell you who might be a starter next year. Who would be their number one next year? I mean, it might have to be Archer. I mean,
Trevor Williams, probably.
I mean, and this is a guy that has had a bad season as well. I mean, I don't blame Huntington. What's he going to say? But he probably should have, say one thing, do another thing.
Mark, how about blame him for the moves he did or didn't make? I mean,
I would say blame him for the moves he didn't make, and we talked about this, Andrew. And what are you doing with guys like Melky and guys like that?
Liriano still around. They won't.
They're not going to play. You don't want them to play now.
What would they have gotten back for those guys? More international signing?
It doesn't matter. Just get him off the roster to clear space.
What about Dickerson? Why was that trade made?
Because he's not on the team next year, Bob.
Okay, well then you're answering the question.
Maybe you should have signed him.
Because money.
No, but he's not good enough.
I'd be more willing to see him sign those guys.
I don't think he's that good. You got to have corner outfield
and hits. Good. He's just coming off a Gold Glove season, and he hit 300. And this year, with runners in scoring position after his injury, he was pretty good.
He's got 4 home runs. I got a left. Okay. I want a left fielder that can hit the ball over the wall in 2019, where home runs happen like by accident.
Did he have 1 or 2 today?
For Philly, I think he went 3 for 5.
Yeah. Hey, Mark, I want to ask you about the situation with Vasquez. Now, we don't know what the conversations were. Would you have traded Vasquez? When you look at how he's been used, now I know they're 4-18 since the break, Mark. However, he's hardly ever been in there. Why have a guy like that on your team? Why not trade him now and try to start that process?
Oh, he's cheap.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's all the more reason why you should have gotten more for him.
They love their contracts more than they love their players. They love this contract. I think they like Vasquez. I think they love the contract.
Well, yeah, that's a good point. If Vasquez was making $10 million, you think Huntington would have found a deal that he liked? Yeah, I mean.
I don't blame Huntington for not trading him right now, to be honest with you. If everything Huntington said is true, they were, we're getting lowballed, so to speak. Wait and get what you think will help you, if that's the case. But I'm sure there was something out there that might have helped them out right now. And like I said before, it's the cap.
By the way, this whole Gavin Lux or bust thing, what do you think of all that, Andy?
I hated it because, to me, you've got more holes than just bringing a premium prospect. If they were a team that felt like they were a piece away, you trade for that guy or sign him in free agency. But we know that's not how the Pirates operate. So when you're projecting without Tyone next year, with all these starting pitching questions, when you look like a 75-win team, you trade your closer when his value is sky high for someone who you project as an everyday. Ruiz would have been their catcher.
Well, that's the thing. They have 2 catching prospects in L.A., and they've got Dustin May. I would rather have seen the catcher and the pitcher come here than another middle infielder. When they got Cole Tucker, Kevin Kramer, they got Craig in the mix. They can move guys around. They can move Moran around, Frazier. That's where they have guys.
Right.
I would have preferred the other 2.
All you guys are going to be wrong when they're playing in the late October next year, and Vasquez is
that's what Neil Huntington
saving
said.
Games.
That's why he's still here.
His contract is saving games.
Got 30 seconds here, real quick. Your thoughts on the Brawl suspension? Mark, was that 10 games for Kella? Did he deserve it?
Those suspensions were ridiculous, if you ask me. The Keller suspension was one reason. I mean, the amount of it, and it's because he told the truth. I believe him whatsoever that he tried to throw at him, and that's why he got those amount of games. But I think Bell should have got a lot more. You might as well just
David or Josh.
He should have got a couple too.
What did Osuna do to deserve as many as he got?
Yeah, all he did was clear the guy off who was basically playing the role of Ron Artest and Amir Garrett. Look, I wouldn't have cared if they gave Kella even more. He probably deserved more, but Amir Garrett was still the guy who started the brawl.
No doubt.
So he should have gotten more than Kella.
I hear that, but Kella did the most dangerous thing, which is take a ball thrown at 95 mile per hour and try to put it in a guy's hand.
Then Hurdle should have gotten more based on their logic of why they suspended Hurdle in the first place.
There was a guy today who went over, it was almost similar to the Kella pitch. Didn't result in anything, of course, and there was nothing prior to it, but it's the same kind of pitch. Anyway, the whole thing is screwed up. David Bell should have gotten 25 games, in my view. You can't do what he did, and he did it. When we come back, we're going to talk about pass interference in the NFL, and now that it can be challenged, what's in store? We'll get these guys' opinions next on the #1 Cochran Sports Showdown.